Welcome to the coolest stuff on the planet.
So, Mr. Matt, what are we going to do today?
We're going to go check out some statues, Mrs. Rachel.
Great. And where are we going to see these statues?
We're going to go to Egypt, down on the Nile.
Awesome. But first, we should explain what is so cool about seeing a statue.
Tell me about it, please.
Okay. So a statue is basically a three-dimensional way to represent people, animals, mythical beings, historical events. It's basically a way to preserve a person or a moment in time.
Well, so there are a couple famous ones that I'm sure you know about. This guy's the thinker. He's really famous. And this guy right here, this is the Statue of Liberty. I guess it's a lady. I'm sorry, Miss Liberty.
This is Guy Lady.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So why are we going to Egypt to see these things? I'm a little confused there.
Okay, well, it turns out there's this place in Egypt called Abu Simbel, which is the home of some pretty amazing statues.
Nice.
And Abu Simbel is basically temples carved into the cliffs of southern Egypt.
Nice.
And guess who built these temples?
I don't know.
Let me tell you.
Nature.
No, close.
Okay.
These temples were built by Ramses II in the 12th century BC.
Yes, not to be confused with Ramses, the first one, which was the 80s band, the Mexican 80s band, which was pretty awesome, the metal band. Yeah. Oh yeah. But we're talking about the god Pharaoh King man guy.
Right.
Pharaoh.
Right. Not to be confused with any bands. Right.
Yes. So, okay, basically what he did is he built 4 ginormous statues of himself in front of this temple, right? They're 67 feet tall, and each of them weighs 2.5 million pounds. So either this guy was a giant, or he really, really, really liked himself.
I'm going to go with B.
Okay.
So to get an idea of the scale of these statues of Ramses, when you look at the seated figures, in between the legs, you'll see the family members of Ramses, and these figures are actually life-size.
How sweet of him to include little tiny versions of his family.
That's right by his feet. And then there's the second temple.
Oh yeah, the second temple is actually dedicated to his wife, Nefertari, and this one is actually guarded by statues of himself and his wife, which is very, very strange at the time, because normally, the most important thing is that they're the same size.
Right.
Because usually you would have the husband a lot larger than the wife. For some reason.
Right. Apparently that's very unusual in Egyptian art. So apparently Ramses really loved his wife.
He did. He really did. Almost as much as himself. Not quite as much.
But close. Another cool detail, more statues. If you go into the back of the main temple, Ramses' temple, there are 4 seated figures in the back.
Okay. There's
Ramses and 3 Egyptian gods. Apparently these are his god pals.
Wow, he loves himself. Well, so, okay, this place, Abu Simbel, it was originally located on the banks of the Nile, right by the water, and there's a project in the 1960s to build a dam right near this area that was going to cause a lot of problems for this historical place, right?
Right. So what they did was there was a kind of a big international outcry, and there was this huge international rescue mission, basically, to save Abu Simbel. So they cut up the temples into blocks, huge blocks, and moved them up 200 feet.
Wow. That's so crazy. How did they get them up 200 feet? I just don't, I'm a little confused. Is it like a...
Really strong people?
Other giants, much like Ramses, picked them up.
That's right, other giants. But anyway, so today... They're about 200 feet up, and they're supported by. They actually had to build an artificial mountain to support the temples, so they wouldn't just be,
Yeah, well, because all the part that used to have the temples is all underwater, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's under a lake formed called Lake Nasser, so it's all under
crazy.
That now.
That's really crazy.
There's one more detail. I think this is probably one of my favorite details about Abu Simbel, and this is the ancient graffiti.
Yes.
So you know how people vandalize modern statues and stuff like that? Well, they weren't above that in the past either. The oldest graffiti at Abu Simbel is from the 6th century.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some skaters or some gang members?
I think it was a Greek soldier. Just decided he wanted to immortalize himself right along with Ramses.
Makes more sense.
So he did.
Wow, that's really awesome. I mean, you gotta think. You see this giant representation of this god man king. I don't know. kind of want to just write poop on his foot or something, you know.
So, looks like pretty much everybody wants a chance to immortalize themselves, you know? And that's what statues are all about.
Yeah, immortalization. Pretty awesome. So that's why you should go to Abu Simbel down in Egypt by the Nile.
Check out some statues.
Yeah.
Make Ramses II really happy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That man loves himself.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com and let us know what you think. Email travelpodcast@howstuffworks.com. Don't forget to check out our other podcasts, free on iTunes.